Hey everyone, here's a recap of the Midjourney Office Hours from March 22nd. We've just completed the first week of version 5 and they're slowly zeroing in on a default style. Eventually there will be 2 versions of V5, a pro mode like they have now, and one that is more stylistic, similar to version 4. David says he thinks version 5 is a little too hard to use right now, and it's not very friendly to casual users. He also said, do not get attached to anything in Midjourney. It's all subject to change. He talked about how the website is continuing its progression. They're working on better rating systems and prizes for those ratings, but they need to figure out how to stop people from abusing the system for those rewards. Recently, they've had some issues with not safe for workplace images. The nudity has been surprisingly tasteful, but was being abused by certain people. So they reduced the frequency of the nudity, and it's only really noticeable if that is what you were trying to generate in the first place. So are there going to be new rules around photographic images? He said they're not sure what they're going to do, but as images become more and more realistic, they will be abused and there needs to be safeguards. I found this fascinating. They're going to replace the word ban system with something new. Let's say you use a ban word. Your prompt will get passed to an AI, and that AI will make a judgment like a moderator would. Because for a while, the word chest was banned, so you couldn't make something like a treasure chest. Moving forward, treasure chest will never get outright banned, but instead become a trigger for an AI system to deem your intentions. So there will be new things that aren't allowed, but there will be a lot less confusion about what is appropriate. No more stupid mistakes, but possibly much more formal rejection. It will understand you, but it also might judge you. And I think that is so funny and so hilarious, and I don't think a single person out there is ready for the future of AI. We built the tools, we're building the judge, and eventually we'll probably build the jury. I don't have any strong opinions on the future. I just think it's going to be crazy to experience. David also talked about how they don't want people to abuse Midjourney for controversy or drama, and they need to figure out a way to handle this. One interesting thing was that they could take things that might be offensive if realistic, but would probably be okay if it was an illustration. I think that's a really interesting compromise, where perhaps your prompt is a little unnecessary if it was photorealistic, but you could still generate it as long as photorealism was not a part of it. David also talked about how they need to account for how version 6 and version 7 will only become more realistic. He said there was 3 stances they could take. One was being strict on having no controversy at all. The second was trying their best to be responsible. And the third was anything goes, who cares if you're offended. He said that third option has never sat right with him, and the idea of putting their best foot forward towards responsibility seems like the best option for the company. Then he brought up a really interesting question. Who is responsible for the images? The anonymous person who created the image, or Midjourney for letting them make it? Kind of fascinating stuff, right? Quickly, he mentioned version 6 and how they'll be targeting higher resolution, better details, and more knowledge. But then he said this. He said they're working on a version that will be able to write words inside of images. Like, oh my god, that is like the first confirmation I've ever heard of that being a possibility, and I don't think he misspoke. He only said that one sentence, and he implied it would be around version 7 or version 8 of Midjourney. He then talked about how there were some GPU outages for version 5, and they're running out of GPUs on some days, which could be an issue for the next week or 2. Because V5 is slower and more expensive, they think they have one more update plan where they're trying to make it faster, maybe twice as fast, maybe 4 times as fast at some point. Furthermore, they might need to lower the base quality slightly and then make quality 2 the standard of what we're used to. And did you know quality 2 doesn't even work right now? Apparently it just does nothing, and like 30% of prompts include quality 2 anyways. Also, did you know that seeds don't work the same way in relaxed mode? I covered seeds in a recent video, and maybe that was the problem I was finding. I don't know. There's a quick recap of the office hours. Hope you're doing well. Take care. See you next time. Peace.